Hello and welcome to the Baller Sports Dialogue Podcast. It's your co-hosts, Brandon Deutsch and Grant Mona. Here to provide you a really quick podcast today about some takes. Not a lot going on in the basketball world. We do have the FIBA World Cup, which we'll get into. James Harden is about to put on that fat suit. Still have him come, him and Morey. I mean, Morey, I love the guy, but he's been a good executive, but he is the most stubborn executive I think in the history of basketball. Yeah. He's got to trade him. I don't know what he's doing, but that's beside. You want to start on that? What would you say about that?
Well, as a fan of the Clippers, I gotta say that I don't care about this saga anymore. I don't care about anything that happens. I don't care about where Harden goes anymore. I think they hurt their value by just waiting this long and creating this whole drama-filled him and Dame. Like, this should have been over 2 months ago, and we're still talking about, are they gonna go?
Okay, I want to talk about this because speaking of Dame, why with Harden trying to go out third team in the last 3 or 4 years? Why did the NBA issue a letter saying they're going to find Damian Lillard, of all people, the first time he's requested a trade to go to Miami, when James Harden has had a destination the past 3 years of different 3 or 4 years? First, he wanted to be a Net out of Houston. Then he wanted to be a 76er. That didn't work out. Now he wants to be a Clipper. This is between 4 years, and he's not given the letter.
Why isn't
Damian Lillard, who has spent with an organization that has failed. He's been there. He's been loyal. And the one time he wants to go to a team, why is he the one that gets the letter from Adam Silver?
I think it's because of the agent. The agent came out and blatantly said, we want Miami and we're not going anywhere else. That's why the league.
Still.
Harden, the first time Harden's actually been upfront and I want to go here is this year when he said, I'm not going to be with whatever he said about Daryl Morey. I'm not going to be a part of the organization that Daryl Morey is a part of. That James Harden also was just fined $100,000 for that comment. But in terms of Dame, why are we going to penalize Dame for wanting to go somewhere when all these players do that? Why? I know Adam Silver is not this stupid. You should know that Damian Lillard has spent his whole career in Portland, made them a contender a few times, actually, got them into contention with C.J. McCollum when they played the Warriors in the mid-2010s. And then when he finally wants out when they're rebuilding, which is fair, a lot of players do this.
Chauncey Billups even said he should leave.
The coach said it.
The coach said Dame should go to a championship contender in Miami.
If the coach is, why don't you find Chauncey Billups? Find the organization. He's a part of the organization, is he not? Fire him too. Listen, I don't even think Chauncey Billups wants to be there, in my opinion.
Poor guy.
I know he said all these great things about, we have this. Chauncey Billups did not sign up to go through a rebuild.
He's got a great basketball mind.
But he did not sign up to go through a full rebuild they're
his
doing
team's
right now.
Suck. I think he's helped with the development of Shaden.
He was an excellent assistant for the Clippers the year before he got signed as a head coach. I think this whole situation is a mess. I don't understand a lot of the things that are going on with Damian Lillard, with James Harden, this whole trade request thing, the new CBA, the new in-season tournament. There's so many things going on.
And I get the precedent. Don't get me wrong, of Adam Silver saying, you can't pick one team.
I understand
but
that.
Why is
why
it
just
Dame?
him?
Why
Thank
him?
you.
Say it to Harden. Say it to I don't know. There's got to be more. They got to be more adamant about getting players to play on their contracts with the team they're on. And it's not by singling out the one guy that's been loyal to his contract out of most superstars in the NBA.
I know you're not going to like this, and I know Laker fans are not going to like this. But Anthony Davis did the same exact thing, and there were no repercussions about it. He said, I want the Lakers. Clutch Sports said, I want the Lakers. We're not going anywhere but the Lakers. Teams were inquiring about Anthony Davis before he was traded to the Lakers.
His dad said he ain't going to be a Celtic.
And his dad said, no, we're not going to the Celtics.
He's not going to be a Celtic.
And there were no repercussions. But we kind of pushed that aside because it's Anthony Davis and the Lakers. It happened then. It happens every year, I feel like that happens. Every year there's a guy that comes out and says, I want to go somewhere else. And almost every time, nothing comes of it except for now. Now we're going to push the narrative when Damian Lillard has been nothing but a professional.
And by the way, I also I don't want to sympathize for Harden because I don't like the precedent he's setting.
Me either. I don't want to sympathize with any of these guys.
But I do understand his frustration when Morey literally, if it is true that he opted into the contract to be traded, and then Morey's like, well, bud, you're playing.
But that's not in the rules.
Of course not.
That's all just like hearsay. It's all talk.
Verbal.
It's all verbal.
But
so it shouldn't be on Morey to be like, to get suspended and fined or whatever because he's just doing business.
And I get Morey's perspective.
You opted in? Sorry.
And I get Morey's perspective because Harden has been super difficult to deal with for GMs over the past few years.
Sure.
And why would you trade him for a bag of chips? Like at this point, no team is going to want James Harden except the Clippers if they even want him because
they didn't want him. They didn't even offer Terrence Mann.
Yeah, and
that shows you
shouldn't.
They shouldn't. But I'm just saying that shows you what value he has. If the Clippers don't even want to give away, they don't even want to give away Marcus Morris for him. That's the value that James Harden has right now.
Trust me, they'd want to give up Marcus Morris.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to package him with good players. Nobody's giving up good players for James Harden anymore. I'm sorry.
I might give up good players to get rid of Marcus Morris.
I'll just ask this right now: team. Is he getting traded, and when?
I think he gets traded to the Clippers.
And when?
January.
Okay, so it's going to be
mid-season.
So what that means is that James Harden's going to put on the fat suit and go through training camp and be horrible and do all these things for what? 3 months? You're going to let this happen?
Yeah.
Because Daryl Morey's a hard-headed GM. Why not just get rid of him, just like the Lakers did with Russell Westbrook? Get rid of the asset.
Well, they tried.
Just
they tried to make it work, but once they knew, that he wanted to be gone, because remember. When last season started, Russell Westbrook still wanted to be a Laker. He wanted to make things work.
I'm saying from the team's perspective.
Yeah, but they got rid of him as soon as he said, I don't want to be a Laker.
No.
You know?
It was known that Russell Westbrook was uncomfortable on that team. Even throughout people
it was a bad fit.
The home fans were booing him. Let's not get come on.
It was a bad fit.
And Daryl Morey comes out, and I think there's a report. I don't know if this is true or not, but it said, I won't take anything but a first-round pick for James Harden. A first-round pick in 2023 for James Harden? I'm sorry, but that is one of the problems with it. Why is Daryl Morey saying, I want a first-round pick for James Harden when every team in the league knows that they're not going to give away a first-round pick? Nobody is.
And the one team he wants to go to does not have a first-round pick.
And the Clippers don't have a first-round pick until 2050. So
which
what
makes
does it
it
even
more
matter?
complicated.
Right. So
which is like, why is he even saying that?
So now you're just making it more complicated, not just for James Harden, but for your own team too. Because he's going to go into training camp and he's going to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to give effort. It's still an ongoing situation. If he even reports to training camp, and that's going to detriment the whole team.
Yeah.
Right? The whole team's going to be uncomfortable. Joel Embiid just won MVP, and now you're making him uncomfortable. Why?
All right.
For no reason.
I love it. I couldn't agree more. I mean,
Sorry,
the optics
I
of the situation.
All
right, the last thing we'll say, because I know it's a short podcast here. Austin Reaves and Anthony Edwards. We'll start with Austin Reaves. He's been excellent. He's playing complimentary basketball. A lot of people are like, why'd they take him over Trae Young? Well, we kind of see the reasons now. As much as I like Trae Young, I mean, Trae Young's more
awesome,
of an ISO. He is awesome. He's awesome. I don't know why they couldn't have Trae Young on the team too.
Why not have both?
Why is Josh Hart? Does Josh Hart even play half the time?
Not really.
Okay.
Walker Kessler doesn't even play.
Yeah. Why isn't Trae Young on the team? Sorry, that's like a whole different conversation. But the point is, Austin Reaves can ball. I think people are starting to see that more and more. It's not just a Laker thing because he's a Laker. And now there's polls. Would you rather have Austin Reaves or Tyler Herro on your team? And I got to be honest with you, Grant. I would rather have Austin Reaves.
Oh.
He plays better defense than Tyler Herro. He can play complementary basketball. I don't know if Herro can do that, to be honest with you. I mean, Hero's kind of a me, like, I'm going to go score. I'm going to score 25. Like, sure, he's become a better passer, but he's an abysmal defender. Reaves is better. Reaves makes every single right play. He's a much better passer than Tyler Herro. And if you put him in the same role, I'm not saying he's as gifted as a scorer as Tyler Herro. Like, I'll give Herro that. But I'm just saying he could get you 18 to 20 points. So for me, if I'm looking to build a title contender, if you're the Miami Heat, you're telling me you'd rather have Tyler Herro at the same price, let's put the contracts aside, than Austin Reaves, they would much rather have Austin Reaves. I guarantee you. He has moxie. Tyler just doesn't have that moxie. I'm sorry.
I think you make a good point to where Tyler Herro is kind of one-dimensional. Like, sure, look, he's in his career, he's averaged 17.7 points per game. That's nothing to look at and say, oh, well, that's nothing. No, he can score the basketball, and his rebounds per game are higher. But I think all these stats are just because of what kind of situation both were in. Tyler Herro is expected to score when he comes off the bench. He's expected to. He's like a Jordan Clarkson. Austin Reaves is not that type of guy with the Lakers. Now, what if you switch the roles? You put Austin Reaves on the Heat, and you put Tyler Herro on the Lakers. Tyler Herro would struggle. He would struggle on the Lakers. Austin Reaves would be excellent on Miami. I hate to say it.
That's what I'm saying.
He would be excellent. So I understand that aspect, but when you have a guy that can put the ball in the bucket like Tyler Herro can, you can't gawk at that. You can't just say,
I'm not
okay,
disrespecting him. I think it's more of respecting what Austin Reaves can do to
we're
any
not,
situation.
But that's not not the argument though. The argument is who is better. And
no, who would you rather have is the question.
It depends on the team, like I just said. Okay. Which team are we talking about?
It doesn't any team. Like, okay, Miami.
Then I'm taking Tyler Herro because he can score more points.
Miami. Who would you rather have if you're Miami?
If I'm Miami, I'd take Austin Reaves.
Who would you rather have as the Lakers?
Austin Reaves.
Who would you rather have as the Nuggets?
Probably Tyler Herro.
No, Austin Reaves. Let's be real. They have enough scores. They need a guy who
off
can.
the bench, they don't.
But they lost Bruce Brown.
Right, but he kind of was a starter
okay,
type because
so
he played
that's
starter
2-1 Reaves with contenders. What about the Celtics? Herro or Reaves?
Herro.
Okay, 2-2.
On the bench, you need a guy that can score.
Okay, 2-2. So
it depends
close.
on the team. It depends on the team for me. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, like, for if I'm a championship,
the Suns, Austin Reaves, because he's
a
connector. He can do a lot of.
But if I'm a championship contender and they're on the same contract, I'd personally prefer Austin Reaves. I am not saying that Austin Reaves is a better scorer than Tyler Herro. It would be foolish to say that because Tyler Herro is so gifted at scoring the basketball. But when what Austin Reaves is showing right now is he's able to play complementary basketball.
Yeah, he's an excellent
and he does every little thing right. And to me, that indicates championship DNA. That indicates a guy that can help you win championships.
Tyler Herro's already been to a championship.
Yes, he has, and yes, he was a big part of the bubble run that the Heat had, and that's his argument. I'm just saying, last year they got to the finals without him.
They could have used him, huh?
They could have. They should have played.
Right, exactly.
To be honest with
they
you,
could have used scoring.
I'm just saying that's an argument. Like when people say Austin Reaves, like me, who would I rather have right now? Austin Reaves.
I think this is a better argument for next offseason. I want to see a full year of Austin Reaves being one of the guys on the Lakers before I make this comparison because it's hard to say because last year you had Westbrook and he wasn't getting a lot of playing time and he wasn't in the role. So, there was a lot of things that you could say where Austin Reaves didn't get the role that he had in the playoffs and down the stretch once Russell Westbrook was off the team and Tyler Herro as well. So after this year, you can come back to this conversation and say, okay, now let's look at it.
Okay,
let's actually look at
it. Last question here. Anthony Edwards, the comparisons to Michael Jordan, that move, what are your thoughts there?
That man is tough. Anthony Edwards is tough, man. Here's my take on Anthony Edwards. I think he's going to be an MVP candidate this year. I think he's going to be the guy on the Timberwolves. Now, the Timberwolves I don't think will be good enough for him to be an MVP. That's just what it is. The Timberwolves are going to be good but not great. This guy, he has your favorite word. What is it?
Moxie.
Moxie. He has moxie. He's got toughness. He's got the personality. What Kendrick Perkins said about him being the face of the NBA, I could understand it from the personality perspective. But we got to slow it down a little bit.
He's in Minnesota. You
Not
can't
just
be
that,
the face of the NBA.
But
I'm sorry.
He's doing great in the FIBA World Cup. Let's not get it twisted. He's the guy. He's the number one guy. He's doing excellent. But if we take a step back and look at the totality, let's look at everybody. The guys that will be in the Olympics. Devin Booker's not better than Anthony Edwards? What do you think?
Devin Booker's much better.
Booker is way better than
just
Anthony
because
Edwards.
His offense outweighs
He was unreal in the playoffs. In the highest part of your game when all the lights are on you, except for Game 7.
Yeah, but he had like the most efficient 35
except
points
for
per
elimination
game. He had like the most efficient 35 points per game from that
saying.
Clippers to Denver.
That's what I'm saying.
So, like, yeah, I'd much rather take – look, my thoughts on him are, like, I get the Jordan comparisons because Jordan was an all-time –
Not yet.
Hold on. Not offensively. The defense makes sense because, like, all-NBA defender. Kobe, Jordan, Edwards, all great NBA
Can't believe you put
defenders. But, like, I'm just saying –
list with those guys.
I know, defensively. But the offense, he still needs a little more work, I feel like, offensively to enter that conference. Like, he needs to be averaging 30 points per game, especially in this NBA. Like, Jordan was averaging 30 points per game in a different NBA. Kobe was averaged 35 points per game and when the average score was like 82. Now, I'm not saying Edward like I get the comparisons. I'm just saying, like, offensively I need to see more for me to put him in that conversation. He's not even a top 10 player in basketball right now.
No.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, how?
Yeah,
can
I
you,
think we need. That's why I said. I think we need
like,
to slow
I get
down
it. He's
a little
young
bit.
and he has a bright future,
Yeah.
and he needs to leave Minnesota. Within like, I mean, no offense to Minnesota,
He just signed a deal.
I don't care. I don't care. Maybe he can stay in Minnesota and be like Giannis with Milwaukee. But I've always been adamant, and this is an unpopular opinion for especially our people listening that aren't in big markets. I feel like to be the face of the NBA and to win championships, you got to be a Laker. You got to be playing for the Heat. You got to be a Celtic, a Knick. Come on. You gotta have it. You gotta have the lights, camera, action.
I disagree. There's so many
You
guys.
love the small market stuff, but it's the small market. It's tough. It's tough. Not everyone's Giannis. He could be. I'm just saying. Eventually, I think he needs to be a Laker. Anthony Edwards.
Of course you're gonna say that. Of course you're gonna say he's gonna be a Laker.
Not he's going to. I think that's the right move. Like
okay, I think he's gonna be a Celtic.
Okay, that's also a good move.
He loves Jason Tatum.
It's a good
Jason
move.
Tatum are boys.
That's a good move. Well, they're both going to be Lakers together by 2028.
No! We got to stop this discourse. Not everybody can be a Laker. Let's get it straight.
Be a Laker?
Stop. Nobody.
They're the biggest organization in the world.
Laker fans have this delusion where it's like, oh, Klay Thompson's coming here. Kevin Love's coming here. They finally got LeBron.
The Lakers are the biggest brand of any basketball team in America.
That doesn't mean you can get everybody
in the world. It doesn't matter who. LeBron made a business decision to come to Los Angeles at the end of his career to win a championship because he wanted to be up there with the Laker greats. And I'm not saying the Lakers are the only organization that has that. And I respect people trying to establish it in small markets.
Thank you.
Like Giannis and possibly Anthony Edwards. I'm just saying toward, the end of his prime, toward the end of people's prime, they go to the Lakers to try and build a name and or the Celtics and be a Celtic or Laker great. I'm just saying that's like a move that a lot of people make. And I wouldn't be surprised if eventually he does that if he's the face of basketball. Same thing with Giannis. You don't think Giannis leaves a small market within a couple of years if things don't go his way? To a big market?
I think he's already mentioned it a few times, but he's not going to go to the Lakers.
He's a Heat. That's still a big market with championships. Like I'm not saying the Lakers are the only team that these guys can go to. I'm saying the big market makes sense when you're the face of the league.
I just feel like every time we talk about a big free agent, it's like Lakers. Lakers. It's Lakers. That's it.
Tatum
Nobody
and
else.
Edwards makes sense to the Lakers. Because Edwards kind of plays like Kobe. And then Jason Tatum is
max
in love
contracts.
with Kobe Bryant.
GD Bus is going to have to go homeless for that to happen.
Why not just those two guys? And then Reeves and a couple others in a few years. And Rui.
Look, I know you love to live in fantasies, but
I love
in
Anthony
fantasy
Davis.
land, not everyone is a Laker.
I'm just saying, wouldn't that be cool if Anthony Edwards and Jason
No,
Tatum
actually, I would hate it. I would hate Anthony Edwards on the Lakers, honestly.
What about Tatum on the Lakers?
No, hate him.
I
don't hate Tatum.
Yeah. Anyways,
we gotta wrap
Tatum,
this up. But I hate it on the Lakers. Not everyone is going to be a Laker.
We'll leave it there.
Send
I
it to
think
the
everyone
Clippers.
should be a Laker. Or
nobody wants to go there.
James Harden wants to be a Clipper.
Oh,
First
God.
person ever to say that.
I don't know why.
Anyways, we'll leave it there. Thank you for listening to the Baller
Glad
Sports
we're leaving
Dialogue
it
podcast. This is your co-host, Brandon Deutsch and Grant Mona. Thank you so much. Sorry, that got heated at the end.
That was fire, though. That was funny.
But you understand what I'm trying to say about
I don't.
If Tatum does not win a championship with the Celtics over the next 3 years, I will guarantee you he will be a Los Angeles Laker.